Gina Rippon, The Gendered Brain, the new neuroscience that shatters the myth of the female brain. Are our brains inherently gendered? In The Gendered Brain, cognitive neuroscientist Gina Rippon challenges the age-old myth of the female brain, presenting scientific evidence that discredits gender-based differences in intelligence or capabilities. Exploring areas such as Darwinian theory, evolutionary psychology, and biased research, Rippon delves into the societal origins of stereotypes and their impact on self-identity. Within this book summary, you can expect a comprehensive dissection of these topics, revealing how nurture rather than nature predominantly contributes to gendered behaviors.
Nature versus nurture in gender behaviors. In her book, cognitive neuroscientist Gina Rippon, Ph.D. dispels the myth that gender-based behavior is rooted in biology. As a researcher and teacher at the Aston Brain Centre, Aston University in Birmingham, England, Rippon argues that nurture, not nature, determines such behaviors. She presents evidence that shows no biological basis for gender-based differences in intelligence or capabilities, debunking long-held beliefs that boys and girls are inherently different. Rippon's work highlights the importance of recognizing the impact of societal pressures and expectations on shaping gender identity and behavior. The suppression of women in science. In the 19th century, women demanded education, property rights, and political power, but scientists aimed to prove the inferiority of their brains. They believed educating women would lead to the depletion of their reproductive abilities. Neuroscience became popular with the visualization of the brain, and the brain organization theory claimed that testosterone surges at 5 weeks of gestation for boys, resulting in a male brain with characteristic rule-based interactions. However, physical differences do not organize the brain in meaningful ways, contended Rippon, a British clinical psychologist. Debunking evolutionary psychology. The belief that men are naturally dominant and women submissive based on evolution is a myth. Science shows there is no factual basis for this view, yet it persists today as evolutionary psychology. Darwin's theory framed human behavior in terms of mating and sexual selection, but this ideology has been debunked, and we need to move past it to understand the complexities of human behavior. Debunked gender stereotypes. Through experiments and research, Rippon debunks gender stereotypes perpetuated by self-help books and pop psychology. Priming study participants based on stereotypes can even affect results. Rippon believes recognizing and dismantling these stereotypes is important for the progress of cognitive research. The power and perils of artificial intelligence. The brain and AI share similar processes, but the latter can amplify sexist and racist data. The brain's predictive nature can lead to stereotyping, but AI's interaction with the world can teach it rules and patterns. Understanding the power of self-identity. Our self-identity is shaped by the feedback we receive from our social groups, which impacts our behavior and sense of belonging. In his book, Rippon explains how stereotypes affect our self-perception, and being excluded or negatively judged can be as painful as physical harm. This can lead to overthinking and stress, especially for those in stigmatized groups. The impact of gender stereotypes. Gender stereotypes are not innate, and social expectations shape individuals from a young age. Research shows that there are no inherent differences in emotional sensitivity or visual development between males and females at birth. As children grow, they conform to societal norms, and confirmation bias reinforces these beliefs. Stereotypes become ingrained in personal identity, creating resistance to change. Girls who believe Legos are for boys perform more slowly in construction tasks, demonstrating how deeply held stereotypes can impact behavior. Understanding the role of social constructs in shaping gender identity is crucial for challenging and changing harmful gender stereotypes. Breaking the STEM barrier. Rippon's book emphasizes how societal gender norms play a vital role in the STEM gender gap. Parents unconsciously encourage their sons to study math, leading to the notion that males are successful scientists, and females are not. Rippon explains how men consistently score higher for self-esteem than women, highlighting how a sensitive sociometer leads women to inhibit their behavior to avoid threats to their self-esteem. Women tend to be more self-critical and self-blaming, fearing disapproval, which feeds their reluctance to pursue STEM careers. This book is a must-read to break the gender barriers in STEM fields and empower women to believe in themselves. Debunking gender stereotypes. Our brains reflect our experiences rather than our gender. The traditional binary distinction between male and female is called into question by new scientific evidence that suggests that hormones fluctuate in response to social circumstances. Thus, our sex is not necessarily binary, as some people have mixed chromosome sets. Finally, having positive role models and support systems can help boost the resilience of young girls in the face of stereotypes that threaten their self-esteem. Fact-based gender stereotypes. Gina Rippon presents scientifically backed arguments against gender stereotypes with an entertaining and accessible writing style. Her book is a must-read for those interested in the evolution of gender stereotypes, the link between gender and brain differences, and ways to combat social stereotypes. Rippon prioritizes data-driven conclusions and avoids metaphors, making her arguments all the more convincing for lay people seeking to better understand the science behind gender perceptions.
Rippon's The Gendered Brain dismantles the assumption that biology solely defines gender-based intelligence and capabilities. This summary has examined the historical context of gender biases in the fields of science and psychology, identifying the ways in which flawed research and societal norms contribute to gender stereotypes. We have also explored the brain's predictive capabilities and its role in constructing self-identity. In conclusion, Rippon advocates the importance of fostering positive self-esteem through supportive role models, especially for young girls, to combat the long-standing influence of scientific myths and gender-based stereotypes on our identities and lived experiences.